This episode is brought to you by Amazon Business. How can you free up your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business empowers leaders to not only streamline purchasing, but better support their teams so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more about the technology, insights, and support available at amazonbusiness.com.
The Hoover Dam wasn't built in a day, and the GMC Sierra lineup wasn't built overnight. Like every American achievement, building the Sierra 1500 Heavy Duty and EV was the result of dedication, a dedication to mastering the art of engineering. That's what this country has done for 250 years and what GMC has done for over 100. We are professional grade. Visit GMC.com to learn more. Assembled in Flint and Hamtramck, Michigan and Fort Wayne, Indiana of U.S. and globally sourced parts.
Okay, let's unpack this. That slightly surreal moment right after graduation.
Yeah.
Confetti's on the ground, you've got the diploma, and there's this huge sense of accomplishment. But then, well, pretty quickly, the reality of the job hunt starts to sink in.
And those student loan payments start looking very real.
Exactly. And you might be thinking, okay, this degree is great, but what now?
It's a truly universal pivot point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Years of dedication, then suddenly the game changes completely. That initial high, it can definitely be followed by uncertainty.
Right. And that's precisely what we're diving into today, navigating that whole post-graduation job search thing. We've, sifted through a lot of information to bring you a guide, hopefully make this process feel less overwhelming, more manageable.
We'll be looking at the key strategies, definitely, but also some of the underlying dynamics of the job market, especially for those just starting out.
Now, if you're a recent grad tuning in, you might be feeling, well, a bit frustrated, maybe looking at the job landscape and thinking, it's just a tough economy, not many opportunities, it's not really my fault.
That's a common feeling. Understandable, for sure.
But here's where it gets, really interesting. While the economic climate certainly plays a role, this deep dive is about putting you in the driver's seat. We're going to try and cut through some of the noise.
Equip you with proactive steps, yeah.
Yeah.
And essential insights that can significantly improve your chances.
Exactly. Improve your chances of landing that first job.
It really raises a crucial question. How can recent grads shift from feeling, at the mercy of the job market to actively influencing their job search outcomes?
Precisely. So the mission of this deep dive is pretty straightforward: to provide you, the recent college graduate, with a practical, insightful roadmap to securing your first job. We're moving beyond some of the, let's say, outdated advice and maybe less effective tactics.
Yeah, focus on what truly makes a difference in today's environment.
We're aiming to give you a sense of control, some direction, at a time when things can often feel quite uncertain.
Makes sense.
All right, let's get into our first key insight. And this one might challenge some assumptions. The common idea that a college degree automatically leads straight to a white-collar job.
It's interesting, the expectation is so deeply ingrained, isn't it? This sort of implicit understanding, degree equals office job.
Right, and anything else is somehow less
Desirable, yeah.
The image of that corner office can be powerful. And when those traditional white-collar roles don't immediately pop up, it can feel like a real setback.
But the thing is, college equips you with a much broader set of valuable transferable skills, things that go way beyond spreadsheets and presentations.
Exactly. Think about what you developed. Communication, right? Verbal, written, exposure to diverse perspectives, building empathy, understanding the world better.
Collaboration, problem solving, time management. All those things you learn through coursework, maybe extracurriculars, these are powerful attributes.
And they're valued across a huge spectrum of roles, including ones that might be more hands-on, like, say, skilled trades or even service industries.
Right.
So if your initial job offers aren't in that stereotypical white-collar mold, don't automatically discount them. These roles can be fantastic starting points.
Let you use those broader skills, gain invaluable real-world experience. It's really about having a wider perspective on what early career success actually looks like.
Yeah, and career paths rarely follow a straight line anyway. That first job, whatever it is, can open unexpected doors down the line.
Provide experience that proves incredibly valuable later on.
Okay, so we've tackled that myth. Now, let's talk about actively taking charge of your job search. This next point is really crucial. In this process, nobody owes you anything.
It sounds direct, maybe a bit blunt, but it's such a vital mindset shift. The days of just sending out a few resumes and waiting, they're largely gone.
Totally. Successful job hunting today requires proactive engagement, a well-defined strategy.
Absolutely. And that core principle, plan your work, work your plan. It's about being intentional, systematic. Yeah.
And a key element of that plan is developing what's sometimes called a career profile package. This goes way beyond just a standard resume.
Yeah, it's about presenting a more comprehensive picture of yourself, not just past experience, but highlighting your potential value.
Think of it like your personal branding toolkit. It includes the resume, sure, but maybe also transcripts, especially if your major GPA was strong.
Letters of recommendation, maybe, examples of your work, writing samples, design projects, code.
Right. Anything that gives potential employers a richer, more compelling understanding of who you are and what you can contribute.
And this proactive stance, it really extends to how you actually connect with employers, which brings us to personal connection.
Yes. This is where the human element becomes absolutely central. The idea that companies do not hire resumes, they hire living, breathing human beings. Seems obvious, maybe.
But it has profound implications for your strategy. It's easy to overlook in our digital world, isn't it? We get so focused on online apps.
We forget the power of direct human interaction. So instead of just sending your resume into the void, think about making direct connections.
Like addressing your cover letter and resume to a specific named person. Hiring manager, HR director.
Exactly. Doesn't that feel more impactful than just careers@somecompany.com?
Absolutely. Shows you did your homework, you're genuinely interested in that company, creates a direct contact point.
And even more proactively, especially if the company's local, consider making a cold call, like physically visiting their office, politely asking to speak with someone in HR.
Feels a bit daunting, maybe.
It might, but there's this great story about someone named Nancy finding a teaching job this way. She personally visited local schools during the summer.
Made direct connections with principals instead of just applying online. That personal initiative, it can be incredibly impactful. Shows real interest, willingness to go the extra mile.
And it's not just cold calls. Think about industry conferences, trade shows, job fairs, prime opportunities for face-to-face networking.
Book Expo America at Javits is a good example. A huge gathering of publishing professionals, all potential employers in one place.
Yeah, these events allow for real conversations, building rapport, maybe discovering opportunities that aren't even advertised yet.
And don't forget informational interviews.
Oh yeah, good point. Reaching out to people in fields you're interested in just for advice. Learn about their journey, even starting small, like your parents' insurance agent or someone in your extended network.
It's a fantastic way to expand your network, gain insider knowledge, and potentially uncover those hidden job openings.
Now let's talk online resources, because they are still part of the picture, but the key is using them strategically, not exclusively. You can't just rely on the big general job boards.
Right. The data suggests the success rate there is pretty low, maybe around 10%. So you need a more targeted online approach.
So focus on specific, more productive resources. LinkedIn is huge, obviously. But think of it as a professional networking platform first, not just a job board.
And that recent college grads group on LinkedIn is specifically highlighted. Great for entry-level roles, recruiters looking for grads.
LinkedIn lets you build that professional online identity, connect with people in your field, stay informed. It's really powerful if used right.
Craigslist is mentioned too for local jobs, but with a big caveat about scams.
Yeah, definitely be careful there. And stick to that rule. Only apply if a specific person is named. Also, look for industry-specific job boards, like EdWeb for education majors.
Those niche boards are great, much more relevant postings for specific fields.
And beyond the boards, your general digital presence matters. Employers will look you up.
So clean up those social media profiles, Facebook, Twitter, maybe even make separate professional accounts.
Good idea. And again, LinkedIn is probably the most valuable social platform here. Your profile is basically a public resume. Lastly, check company websites directly for openings.
But again, always try to find that human contact inside the company to reach out to. Your online presence is your brand extension. Manage it carefully.
Okay, let's broaden the scope a bit. Think about other avenues, recruiters, for instance.
Yeah, recruiters. While many focus on mid to senior level, some definitely handle entry-level positions. It's worth connecting with them.
Especially online, like through LinkedIn again.
Definitely. And some share market updates or openings through newsletters or social media too. They really have their finger on the pulse.
Can provide valuable insights, leads you might not find otherwise.
Another crucial avenue. aligning your search with your passions, what actually motivates you.
Exactly. Identify those areas of real interest, then research-related jobs. Use resources like the Occupational Outlook Handbook.
Yeah. Government resource, tons of info on different careers, duties, education needed, salary ranges, growth projections.
So if you loved research projects in college, you could look up research scientist and see what that path looks like.
Connecting your search with your interests. That leads to more fulfilling careers long term.
And here's a maybe surprising option for recent grads: starting your own business.
Yeah, it might seem like a huge leap right after college, but entrepreneurship is a viable path for some. Think about, Jobs, Gates, Zuckerberg. Started early.
Pursued their own ideas, built massive companies, and having a college degree is actually a big asset for entrepreneurs. Provides foundational knowledge, skills.
So if the traditional job market isn't immediately clicking, don't just dismiss the idea of creating your own opportunity.
Okay, let's pause and address a common worry: the whole bad economy, high unemployment narrative.
Right. It's easy to get bogged down by negative headlines. But the job market is complex. Job openings exist even when unemployment is, say, over 6%.
Think about the size of the U.S. workforce, like 155 million people. The unemployment rate, while important, is just one number. It can lag, and it doesn't show the constant movement, the churn, in such a big labor force.
So while finding the right job takes time and effort, don't let those overall stats totally discourage you. Jobs are always being created and filled.
And this next point is really key for managing expectations early on. Try not to get too fixated on getting a super high salary or prestigious title for your very first job.
Yeah, we hear stories about people who struggled because they weren't willing to consider jobs with slightly lower starting pay or a title that wasn't exactly what they pictured.
The reality is, all work has dignity and value. That first job, it's mainly about getting practical experience, developing skills, getting your foot in the door.
Be open to opportunities that aren't the ultimate dream job yet. They can be valuable stepping stones, provide great insights.
That initial professional experience is so formative, really shapes your future path.
Definitely.
Okay, let's shift to some really practical tools and mindsets for the search itself. First up, a dedicated home office space.
Absolutely crucial. Whether you're aiming for a big company or starting your own thing, you need a designated workspace for planning, follow-up, research.
Trying to manage it all from a cluttered kitchen table with distractions everywhere. Yeah, not ideal.
Not a recipe for success, no.
Next, business cards. Maybe sounds old school.
A little, perhaps, but they can still be really valuable for networking events. Simple, professional design, essential contact info, keeps them handy.
And carrying a briefcase, not a backpack, for interviews or career fairs. Projects a more professional image when you're carrying resumes, your career profile.
Small detail, but it adds up.
This next one might be tough for some of us. Unplugging during dedicated job search time.
Yes. Turn off the phone notifications, close the email tab, minimize those digital distractions to really focus.
Allocate specific times for checking devices rather than letting them constantly interrupt you.
Maintaining detailed records is also essential. Track who you've contacted, the companies, application progress.
Use a simple spreadsheet, maybe. Just something to stay organized. It's fundamental to managing the search well.
Absolutely. And remember, learning doesn't stop at graduation. Keep updating your tech skills. Maybe even consider learning a language like Spanish. Can really boost employability.
In today's market, that commitment to continuous learning is key to staying competitive.
And finally, don't underestimate soft skills. Professional etiquette, respect in all interactions.
We heard examples where lack of professionalism really cost candidates opportunities. How you conduct yourself throughout the entire process speaks volumes.
It really does.
All right, let's focus on crafting those application materials. Starting with the resume, there's that common myth. Entry-level resume must be one page only.
Yeah, but for entry-level, a well-crafted two-page resume can actually be perfectly fine, especially if you have relevant experiences and accomplishments to fill it.
The key is quantifying achievements whenever you can. Use strong action verbs. Don't just say participated. Say collaborated with a team of 4 to achieve X result.
Include relevant stuff from high school, college, community service, even part-time job successes. And definitely consider including transcripts if your major GPA was good.
Your resume is that first impression on paper. It needs to be clear, concise, impactful.
Then the cover letter. Always address it to a specific person, correct title. Shows attention to detail, strong writing skills. Avoid dear sir or madam.
It's your chance to personalize the application, really spell out why you're a strong fit for that role in that company.
And your digital profile, like on LinkedIn, should mirror the key details of your resume, but adapted for the online format, brevity, platform features.
Keep it consistent across all materials. Presents a cohesive, professional image.
Definitely.
Finally, let's dive into mastering the interview itself, a fundamental piece. Building rapport with the interviewer.
Hiring managers often lean towards candidates they connect with, feel they can trust. Establishing that positive professional rapport early on is crucial.
And show responsibility, initiative. Frame your job search as you taking proactive steps for your financial independence, finding a place to contribute.
Show you're engaged, motivated to find a good fit.
And don't just answer questions, ask insightful ones yourself. Shows engagement, helps you learn about the company's goals, challenges, work environment.
But maybe avoid questions that sound too demanding or negative about work expectations, right?
Good point. Keep questions focused on understanding the company and the role.
Interview etiquette can also vary by setting. Conferences, trade shows. Stay professional, even if it feels informal.
Restaurant interviews are interesting. They often test maturity, social graces, avoid obvious missteps, poor table manners, ordering alcohol, being glued to your phone.
There was even that anecdote about a candidate's menu choice raising red flags. It gives a glimpse into your social intelligence outside the office.
Phone interviews, too. Dress professionally, maintain proper etiquette, even if they can't see you.
Dressing the part puts you in the right mindset, helps project confidence in your voice.
And when closing the interview, always ask about next steps. Reiterate your strong interest. Express enthusiasm about possibly joining the team.
A strong closing reinforces your interest, shows you're serious.
Okay, so you got the offer. Amazing, congratulations. But wait, it's not quite over. Navigating the offer itself. First thing, negotiation.
Yes, don't be afraid to negotiate. Base salary, benefits like vacation time, maybe tuition reimbursement for skill development.
Initial offers are often not the final word, unless maybe it's a huge company with really rigid pay grades.
Advocate for your worth, but do your homework first, right?
Absolutely. Research salary benchmarks for similar roles in your area. Have realistic expectations based on your experience, industry standards.
Know your market value.
Also, carefully review everything in the offer letter. Non-compete agreements, drug testing policies, credit checks. These are pretty common now.
Understand what those clauses mean, even if you have limited leverage to change a non-compete at entry level. Just be aware.
And finally, evaluate the company itself. Don't decide just based on the offer numbers.
Right. Look into their financial health, reputation, benefits quality, leadership, employee morale. Check online reviews, maybe.
Any anecdotal info you can find. Think about companies known for being good employers, like P&G, Safeway, Northwestern Mutual, those kinds of places.
Using a company with a good culture, values that align with yours.
Yeah.
That could be just as important as the paycheck.
And looking at the big picture, remember, this first job, it's just the beginning. You'll likely have multiple roles, maybe even switch industries over time.
Your career is dynamic. It evolves. It's not a fixed destination.
So even after you're hired, keep that resume updated, maintain your home office setup, stay informed about the job market generally, and, most importantly, crush it in your current role.
Performing well where you are is always the best foundation for whatever comes next.
So to wrap this all up, let's hit a few key takeaways for recent grads navigating this.
Okay, first, prioritize building those personal connections. Networking, direct outreach, often way more effective than just online apps.
Second, don't shy away from negotiating job offers. Salary, some benefits, they're often open for discussion.
And finally, commit to continuous learning. Professional development. Stay current. Keep updating your skills. It's ongoing.
So as you head out into the professional world, remember this job search isn't just a hurdle. It's really the first step in what we hope is a dynamic, rewarding career for you.
Be proactive. Be persistent.
And never stop seeking knowledge and growth in the real world of work. Now, here's something to think about. What kind of meaningful contribution do you want to make in your chosen field?
That's a deep question.
Right.
Worth exploring.